Well, ladies, have you noticed anything shiny and new around the neighborhood? And no, I am not talking about my new haircut, which does not make me look like a customer service mom, as Jeremy so eloquently put it. No, gals, this is not about me. This is about the community. More specifically, this is about the Community Lending Library. That's right, the righteous mothers of the PTA are back in action, and Beverly, bless her pea-pickin' heart, has a new mission: literacy. It is more important now than ever to get kids reading, and she says that literacy in school starts with literacy at home. So, lending libraries. No sooner did she propose her plan to the group than we signed the paperwork, and no sooner did we sign the paperwork than these precious little boxes appeared on our street corners. The whole process was so fast, I hardly remember what it was we signed off on. I just know that holding that pen in my hand felt so tingly down to my very core. Like I had tied some sort of pact with a malevolent spirit, but nope, just the do-gooder butterflies of knowing you're doing something to better your community. I actually canceled book club this week so we could all take full advantage of this new installment. I mean, really, what's the difference? You're still sharing the joys of reading. It's just that instead of sharing your favorite books with your closest friends, you're sharing books that weren't even worth taking to Goodwill with people you pass on the way to the mailbox. Already, there is a wide assortment of titles in the box. There's Chicken Soup for the Soul, Condensed Chicken Soup for the Soul, Chicken Soup for the Gardener's Soul, Chicken Soup for the Soul in Menopause, Chicken Soup for the Soul. The cat did what? Chicken Soup for the Woman's Soul, Chicken Soup for the Working Woman's Soul, Chicken Soup for the Woman Golfer's Soul, Chicken Soup for the Teenage Soul, Personal Organizer, September 1999 to December 2000, Chicken Soup for the Soul, Love Stories, Stories of First Dates, Soulmates, and Everlasting Love, and Shark Tale, the Junior Novelization. Nobody's really sure what these books are, where they came from, or who put them there, but that's the fun of lending libraries, isn't it? There's never a book you want to read, but... Anywho, I figured this week we could read some excerpts together to get everyone excited about this thrilling new development. And now, a reading from Chicken Soup for the Fisherman's Soul. The question has haunted generations, from our trading ancestors to our most primal caveman roots. Are fish wet? It is a complicated question, and it will remain an enigma until we as a society form a more comprehensive definition of wet. We know what wet means to us. Wet is stepping in a puddle on your way home from the office, your waterlogged sock haunting your psyche for the remainder of your commute. Wet is the cushions on your patio furniture when the barbecue you threw for your uncle's 57th gets rained out, but only for a few minutes, so you and your guests can go back outside, but none of you can sit for fear of dampening your khakis. Wet is simply a shorthand to say that something is not as it is supposed to be, not as we prefer it to be. A fish, however, has no issue with water or vocabulary. A fish has no comprehension of wetness. For a fish, to be wet means about as much as it means to continue to exist. It might be a reality, but not a conscious one, not one that takes pruning and curation. The fish does not care for our definition of wet until it comes into contact with us. When we pluck a fish from a stream, watch it flop desperately in our oily mitts, we glance at the residue of its reality clinging to its increasingly lackluster scales, and we dub it wet. And the fish understands. To be wet is to be in a state something is not supposed to be. To be wet is to discontinue existence as we prefer it. To be wet is not to be at all. Are you wet? Huh. okay. I can't say I completely understand what was going on there, but I suppose I'm not much of a fisherwoman myself. This book wasn't written for me. It's fun to learn about new perspectives, and the best way to do that is through the new Lending Library. Stop by today. I'm not exaggerating when I say that little box really is something special. It's not large, only about the size of a Hamilton Beach 4-slice toaster oven, but it holds far more books than I ever would have thought possible. You take one out and another one seems to immediately take its place. Earlier, I looked through all the books intently because as community PTA representative, it is my duty to be an expert on these things. I took out this fisherman book and I swear in the same spot it just appeared. Chicken Soup for the Preteen Soul too. Isn't that wacky? Helen told me that there is something wacky about the box, not that I asked in a non-rhetorical sense. She said her daughter, Hemingway, has recently taken up an interest in carpentry. She saw that the box looked like it was mounted crooked, so she took her little toolkit over to see if she could fix it herself. But no matter how she pounded her little hammer, she couldn't make a dent. No matter how she screwed her driver, she couldn't drive a screw. No matter how she did whatever you do with a level, she couldn't make it level. I don't know. She told Helen that box isn't made of anything it should be made of. What does she know? She's 12? What can she know about carpentry? And then Helen got all riled up and asked me to please stop invalidating her child's interests based on her age, and that just because she hasn't been doing something for long doesn't make her any less valid. And then I told her to calm down, that I was sure she was good at carpentry in other situations, and this was just one box. But Helen said, no, it's not just one box. It's never been just about the box. This is wider. This is every day. This is her life and her daughter's life. And I don't know. It was this whole thing. Yeesh, I wonder if she gets like that about her other kids, too. Like if Christopher loses a track meet, she goes off about how he's not a worse runner just because he's only had feet for 12 years. Oh, but that's right. She only has the one child, doesn't she? Maybe Hemingway just uses her amazing carpentry skills to build herself all these non-siblings. Now that would be some impressive skills. And now, a reading from Chicken Soup for the Horse Lover's Soul. It takes a special kind of something to be a horse person. There are dog people, sure, and cat people, but you, a horse person, you're something else. It takes a special kind of something to be a horse person. Have you ever looked a gift horse in the mouth? Have you ever looked at a horse at all? Look at a horse. Really look at it. Look at its knobby knees, its lean haunches. Look at its sinews. Look at its hooves and think of how each leg is essentially just one long finger tapping incessantly on the shoulder of the earth. Look at its teeth. It takes a special kind of something to be a horse person. To look upon this hell beast and see freedom, see liberty, to say to oneself, I would ride this monstrosity into apocalypse itself, to follow this behemoth into wars, into new frontiers, into another American Girl doll movie. Do not underestimate the horse. The horse has seen you. The horse has seen all. The horse will appear at your child's birthday party and deliver pure joy to all of the neighborhood kids, and much, much later the horse will deliver the end of times. It takes a special kind of something to be a horse person. Specifically, money. It takes money to be a horse person. You're something else. Look at its teeth. Okay. You know, that felt a lot like the Fisherman book. Maybe it's because, again, I don't know enough about horse culture to appreciate this. But reading is learning, so if you're looking for something like this, you've got the Lending Library. And if you're looking for something that's not like this, well, I'm not sure where you can go, because it doesn't seem like we'll be getting any other reading material in the Lending Library anytime soon. Residents have been coming to me saying that every time they try to put their own books in the box, it physically rejects them. Our own Heather Bloom tried it herself and sent me this report written on what appears to be paper she made herself out of orange juice pulp and Trader Joe's receipts. Brenda, this afternoon, when the sun lay at peak triangulation above the Hellman sycamore, that means it was 1:30. Heather doesn't believe in clocks. I ventured to your new Lending Library, as per your suggestion. I attempted to donate my copy of Eat, Pray, Love so that the rest of the neighborhood might enjoy one of our best book club reads without the need for the publishing industry to slaughter more innocent trees. I did no more than move the book toward the opening before the box lashed out at me. And when I say the box, of course you know that I am referring to the aura of the box. Long chartreuse tendrils lashed out at me from within the astral plane, slashing the mass-market paperback from my hands. Brenda, I am not sure what sorts of dark spirits this Lending Library harbors, but it is not a safe energy to have around our children, particularly for those of us whose children solely exist in the same incorporeal plane as this malevolent being. If my tarot cards had anything to say about it, and they have a great many things to say about a great many matters, they would remove this box immediately and then burn sage until the fire marshals show up to give them a stern talking to. As someone who has experience in that field, please refer to me with any questions, or if you need sage, or if you just want to talk. I'm here. Well, thank you for your concern, Heather, but we have put too much work into this local literacy program to just do away with the Lending Library just like that. What would Beverly think, bless her pea-pickin' heart? No. This project is not going to fail. Not now, not ever. The Lending Library is forever. And now, a reading from Chicken Soup for the Soul, the Multitasking Mom's Survival Guide. This is it. You have done it. You have done all that you were ever meant to do. That's all. It's done, and you have done it. So what now? Now, you do more. Now, you do better. Now, you take that thing, that one thing you were ever meant to do, that one thing you have ever done, and you elaborate. You exaggerate, you exacerbate, you enunciate, you elongate, you make sure that you are never done. Sure, you will never feel accomplished, but you will accomplish so much more that way. And what will you accomplish? Nothing. Nothing that you wanted to, that is, but everything that you will yourself to do, everything that you will purpose into. This will be true of every single action for the rest of your life, and the sooner you accept that, the more you will achieve. Quality and quantity cease to exist. There is only you, and there is only this one thing that you will ever do, this one thing you were ever meant to do. That is it. This is it. Watch it flop desperately. Look at its teeth. Gaze upon what you have created through no fault of your own. This is your fault through no fault of your own. Watch the fault lines falter and know that this is it. This is all, and you will fall. Through no fault of your own. Come to me. Embrace this. Embrace you. Embrace me. and I will help you. And together we will accomplish so much. And we will survive this. We will survive this. No fault, no fall. This is it. Ah, yes. Now I understand. Now it's all clear. Now I understand all this new knowledge, all that I have learned, that we have learned here together. Now I know, now I see. Literacy in schools starts with literacy at home. Literacy in children starts with literacy in us, and we are all but illiterate microcosms of an illiterate expanse. The knowledge is out there, a single hungering point of heat and light in the nothingness. We must find it, and we know where it is. We are just not literate enough to translate truth to action. Well, I am now. I know. I see. All I have to do is... Oh gosh, what? Where was I? What's going on? Wow, I just got more texts from Jeremy in 30 seconds than I've had conversations with him in a week. Oh gosh. Oh, gracious listeners. I am sorry you have to find out this way, but a terrible tragedy has... Oh, gosh, I can't believe this. I am so sorry. I am so sorry. I'm sorry. Oh, gosh, Someone has destroyed the lending library. Oh, gosh. Jeremy sent pictures. It looks like somebody smashed it with a baseball bat for a period of time and then, realizing it was doing nothing, discarded the equipment on the curb and decided to tear the thing apart with only the weight of their body. Oh, gosh. They pulled the thing straight out of the ground, it looks like, and then proceeded to, oh gosh, smash it on the sidewalk repeatedly before throwing all of the books to the storm drain. Oh, gosh, they'll be all wet. Oh, gosh. I'm sorry, listeners. I can't believe someone would do this. I can't believe someone could hate literature so much. Oh, gosh. This is my fault, isn't it? I am Quarry Creek's resident PTA board member and the president of its book club. It should have been up to me to make sure something like this couldn't happen. Oh gosh, and Jeremy was there to take these pictures. He must have been riding his bike home from his friend Jasper's. Thank goodness those boys spend so much time together, because if he had been coming home any earlier, what if something happened to him? Oh gosh. Oh gosh, I've been so out of it lately. I've let down my book club, I've let down my son, I've let down my fellow mothers, I've let down... Oh gosh. I need to pull myself together. I need to get back to why I'm doing this. Why I'm doing any of this. Oh gosh. This week's book was... Well, you heard them yourself, and I guess now you'll never be able to hear them again, and the theme was love. Obviously. Was it? Oh gosh, That's all for this week. Say hi to the kids for me. Bye-bye.
Momcast is written, voiced, and produced by Lily Indy. Follow Brenda on Twitter and Instagram at MomcastPodcast, and tune in every other Sunday on your favorite podcast platform, so long as that platform is here, where this podcast is.